have a name, though, of some guy who came and paid for all the money, oversaw all the work, and then never heard from him again. He called himself R.C. Christian. Christian Rosy Cross. Here's what Rosicrucianism, which John Dee was the elements of Freemasonry is in Rosicrucianism, here's what they said. His very name is an embodiment of the manner and the means by which present-day man is transformed into the divine Superman. This symbol, Christian Rosenkreuz, the Christian Rose Cross, shows the end and aim of human evolution. Think about it. The road to be traveled, the means whereby that end is gained, the black cross, the twining green stem of the plant, the thorns, the blood-red roses. In these is hidden the solution of the world mystery, man's past evolution, present constitution, and particularly the secret of his future development. In other words, the secret is all about how we're going to change mankind. We're going to add something to, see, the cross is this. That's the cross. It's the X chromosome. We're going to add something to the X chromosome of mankind. We're going to add something to his DNA. The thorns. Because that's what the rose, the sacred feminine, conceals. She conceals. You look, oh, that flower is so pretty, and you reach to grab it and pick it, and you go, ah, I got thorns in me. See, the rose conceals the thorns. The thorns is a picture of the curse, the Antichrist. That's what it's a picture of. Damien Thorn in the Omen. That was his name, Damien Thorn. He was the Antichrist. So watch this. They're going to add something to man's DNA. There was an article, and I featured this in several of our videos, Scientific American, called The Triple Helix, adding a third strand to man's DNA to make him better. To make him better. In the race to discover the whole idea of what DNA looked like, Watson and Crick actually came up with the idea of two-strand DNA. But there was another physicist, Linus Paul or something like that, that actually theorized that man's DNA was actually three-strand. He was only off by a few years. Hadn't happened yet, but it's going to. This is what a three-strand DNA looks like if you're looking down like you look through a toilet paper roll. You know how we always pretend they're telescopes. That's what it looks like if you're looking straight down the tunnel through three-strand DNA. This is a symbol. It's an ancient occult symbol called the Triskela. It is a representation of three-strand DNA. The first cousin to this Triskela symbol is the Triquetra. I want you to notice the two bottom ovals represent the two strands of DNA. The third one is that which rises out of them and is added to that. If we go back to the symbols of Jachin and Boaz, you see that there. You see Jachin and Boaz, the two pillars, father and mother, joined together, and what's at the top of the rainbow looks like DNA, looks like seed, serpent seed, is actually the third strand added to the other two. So we're in dealing, in fact, let me show you this. That's what this represents. This is a New King James Version of the Bible, and it has the Triquetra. It's got it all over it. Of course, they say, now we say that it's a symbol of the Trinity, and yet God said there is no symbol of the Trinity. We cannot imagine that the Godhead can be graven with art and man's device. God was saying, if you see something and somebody says that's the Trinity, I'm telling you it's not, it's something else. It represents the fundamental transformation of mankind. Here's what it looks like in the Scriptures. Daniel 2:42. And as the toes of the feet were part of iron and part of clay, so the kingdom shall be partly strong and partly broken. And whereas thou sawest iron mixed with miry clay, they shall mingle themselves with the seed of men, but they shall not cleave one to another, even as iron is not mixed with clay. So we go to this symbol of the Triquetra, or the three strands of DNA, and here we have clay, the iron or the clay kingdom, mankind with its two strands, and here we have something added to it to make man perfect. If you look at the all-seeing eye, that's what you have. You have the two strands here, and you have the third part is the transformation part, the prism. So now the light can shine through it, and the seven colors are coming out. That's what we're dealing with here. There are other government agencies. This symbol, they love it. They love this symbol. The Department of Transportation uses the Triskele symbol, or a version of the triquetra. It's all about three-strand DNA. Mankind changing, being altered into these little gods. Trilateral Commission, do you see it there? The guy that put me onto this, a fellow by the name of Paul, I appreciate it. God used him to help me with this. What got him to thinking about it was, he lives out in the Baltimore, D.C. area. He took a picture of a new monument they erected outside of the Pentagon. Take a look at it. That's what it is. It's a representation of the triple helix, or three-strand DNA. The National Institutes of Health. What is their... Think about it. Health. Mortals die. We have sicknesses and diseases, so the health department must make us better. And their symbol is the triangle. Two parts of DNA, the God added to make the third part to make men gods. In the United Kingdom, the APAX system, the UK Payments Association. Notice that they like have a double one here, which is actually the number 6. But anyway, they have a double triquetra, a double triple helix here as a representation. Now you say, what's the thing between human transformation and money? Think of Revelation 13. He causeth both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead where their pineal gland is, and that no man might buy or sell, save he had the mark. We actually have a video called The Triple Helix, and I give you the basis of the fundamental basis of what I'm teaching, both from the Scripture and from the occult world. And I show you all these symbols of health institutes and banking things and everything like that, how they're all working together, and they all use a variant of this same symbol. Now here's what was interesting to me. Because part of the Prism program, you know, the triangle that transforms, part of the Prism program was that they were in cahoots, because they were all at the Bilderberg meeting, in cahoots with Yahoo and American Online and Facebook and everything else, and of course the giant, Google. Google is everywhere, man. They are. Google is, they've revolutionized everything. Google, they borrowed the Linux operating system. They took it, they revamped it a little bit, made the Android system. They have an operating system called Chrome OS. Their operating system is in phones, tablets, you name it, it's everywhere, and they're all... Google, as part of its standard operating system, when you do a search, they don't go through Yahoo. They go through Google. And Google, they're like an elephant. They remember everything you typed in. They handed that over to the government for nothing. Their browser is a triquetra, Google Chrome. Take a look at this. There's Janet Napolitano at the National Fusion Center Conference. And she's explaining to the people how the Fusion Center works. You see the 3 strands of DNA here? How they're all working together to bring about the beast's power and seed and great authority. They're all working together to bring this about. And it's the idea of fusion. The Fusion Centers actually popped up after 9/11 because everybody kept saying, well, the CIA should have known this. They had some of the information. The FBI had some of the information. And they were fighting one another because they're like cops. Hey, that's my caller, man. And so they didn't get along. That's the story we're supposed to believe. And so the Patriot Act, in order to give us peace and safety, fused all the government spying organizations and intelligence apparatus together into what's called fusion centers. And there are, I think in every state of this union, every state has its own fusion center. Local law enforcement, CIA, FBI, all putting their information into one basket. Now we have the health care bill, which is going to bring in the health care information, IRS tax information, any arrest record that you have, plus the NSA's ability to monitor your cell phones, your emails, your internet searches, and everything that you do, because we are a technology-oriented society and there's almost no way out of it. All that information, your name pops up, they know who you are, where you live, who you live with, what you ate for breakfast, because they got you on camera at McDonald's. They know everything. Your database, and it's all fused together by that symbol to give the devil power, his seat, or excuse me, the Antichrist, to give him great authority. Think about how it was in the old days when they didn't have cameras everywhere. They just had Roman Catholic priests who sat in confessionals and listened to people tell all these priests, who were humans, all of their dirty little secrets. Well, the priest is not supposed to know who's in there, but it's funny because they always have a little window. And those priests knew who that was in there. The most powerful man in the community was the Catholic priest, because he knew everybody's dirty little secret. And if you think these guys were all holy men of God and never used that, you're crazy. They were the devil's spy organization long before the NSA shows up. So now we have churches playing along with this. And I featured this before, the Fusion Church. Better together. You see what they're saying? The two strands, they're not good. Bring it together with the third, now we're better together. What does Masonry teach? Making good men better. Okay? Live better. Walmart, live better. So, 1 Thessalonians chapter 5, the Bible says, "For yourselves know perfectly that the day of the Lord so cometh as a thief in the night. For when they shall say, peace and safety, then sudden" what? "Destruction cometh upon them as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape." So watch this. We're setting up right now with all the fusion centers and the technology and the surveillance apparatus, we're setting up a scenario where we're going to bring peace and safety to the entire world. And when that happens, it says, sudden destruction cometh upon them. That's actually a person. His name is Apollyon and Abaddon. That's who sudden destruction is. Sudden destruction is then going to, when this system is in place and everybody says, oh, I just feel at peace and safe now. Boom! It's going to happen. As travail upon a woman with child, literally the birthing of the Antichrist. He favors the birth, coeptus. The New World Order is going to be birthed as a woman in travail with a child. Now, watch this. Indiana Intelligence Fusion Center. Nationwide suspicious activity reporting, because you can think what you want about the evil government. Have you not ever made a phone call or know of somebody who made a phone call because they thought maybe their neighbor was growing pot in their backyard or cooking meth? I have. I remember, I won't tell the circumstances, but I smelled a very, very strange smell coming out of a house, and I called law enforcement. I said, I think you need to check this out, because Jefferson County is the methamphetamine cooking capital of the world. We have the top chefs, and fortunately it was